In today's news, escalation on the Vietnamese peninsula continues as the Soviet General Secretary walked out of the UN in protest. The ongoing proceedings have been called to address accusations of colonialism in...
President Nixon outlined his plans for SATO today. The organization represents the more aggressive posture he's taken in comparison to his predecessor, former President John Kennedy. Reporters then questioned him on the anti-disestablishment.
American forces have now established control over not only most of Vietnam, but the neighboring countries of Laos and Cambodia. The collapse of the infamous Ho Chi Minh Trail has been pinpointed as the turning point that may well...
Protests in front of the Pentagon today called for an end to American entanglements abroad, citing an increase in foreign conflicts and instability in the last decade. Advocates for nuclear disarmament say...
We've got these commies on the run, and now we're expected to turn tail and let them win? I'll tell you where these hippies can stick their peace pipe!
Le Premier ministre Chabon Delmas a refusé d'exprimer son opinion sur l'état actuel des anciennes colonies d'Indochine. Nous indiquons que le principal objectif du gouvernement était de forger de meilleurs liens avec les anciennes colonies françaises.
Exchange of fire for the third straight week across the Cuban DMZ, as conflict between the dueling governments in Havana and Guantanamo each...
Мы не позволим быть запуганными и не отступим из-за государства, глава которого считает, что она является единственным источником справедливости на планете. Дурные намерения, стоящие за этим рывком к тихоокеанской гегемонии, только приведут к еще большему кровопролитию.
And the men, acclimated to jungle fighting, have continued to root out Viet Cong holdouts despite the harsh weather during typhoon season. As we can see, the sweltering temperatures are a constant source of difficulty to...
Wie lange wird unser Land noch leiden müssen? Familien getrennt sein wegen des Machthungers anderer Länder? Wann wird unser schönes Berlin endlich von dieser Mauer befreit? Sie ist ein Symbol für alles, was am sozialistischen Regime der Sowjetunion falsch läuft.
With Soviet forces continuing their build-up in and around Vladivostok and American forces primed to continue their approach on the fortress city of Da Nang, tensions across the Pacific are at an all-time high as US diplomats continue to insist on their goal of regional stabilization. With the second Chinese Civil War continuing to threaten cross-border spillover, it is unlikely that either side will back down in the face of a turbulent Southeast Asia. Negotiations will continue into next week. Moving on to the weather, it's going to be a pleasant weekend as light cloud cover leaves little room for...
That was a perfectly good map.
We have 12 maps. What we don't have is enough men, or equipment, or anything. You and I both know it.
Well, judging by the map that you just murdered, I'd say you've been doing pretty well so far.
A shattered NVA and a VC that's run out of tunnels to hide in is not the same as going toe-to-toe with the godforsaken Reds, Digby.
You get the same reports I do. There's no indication that the Pacific Fleet is moving to intervene. It's a smattering of retaliatory forces they're contributing. Last reconnaissance still put them in Vladivostok, as angry as they are.
Since when has intel ever been a guarantee? I understand. You think I sound alarmist. But a full-scale Soviet intervention wouldn't just prolong the war. They'd stand to put the entirety of the peninsula at risk. We cannot be caught flat-footed.
So, what do you propose we do? Washington's never going to agree to reimpose another round of drafts, not when things are going this well, and certainly not over a hypothetical. Unless you want to aim the artillery north and hope we hit Siberia, we're doing the best we can, just as we've always done.
It still had to be said.
And we're definitely going to have the final word on this. After today, the NDA will be on the beach with nowhere to go but into the fucking sea. And with that, it'll be over.
Is it ever over? Is it really?
Sir, the men have started to assemble on the tarmac. Do you want to get out here before they start juggling grenades again?
I believe that's our cue. For better or for worse, on to Da Nang.